HGTV glamorized it. TikTok monetized it. But can real estate really be a side hustle? We've got Tabitha with us today, and we are going to be talking about some things that you maybe need to know or want to know if you're thinking about making real estate your side hustle. So thanks for being here, Tabitha.
Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
So fact or fiction? Real estate is a great side hustle.
Fiction, I mean, for me,
Tell me more.
I mean, I think people think it's a way to make a bunch of money because I think what happens is people get a whiff of how much a realtor might make on a deal, and then they think it looks easy, and it's kind of a low bar to get licensed. So it's like this natural progression of, well, I should do this as a side hustle, you know?
I've thought about it. And I said, no, never mind. So what all do you have to do to get licensed?
Well, I said it's kind of a low bar. So here's the thing, right? So you're opening up a business. Maybe you want to change careers. Maybe you want to add a side hustle. So here's what you have to do to be a real estate broker in Colorado. You have 168 hours of classes that you take in person or online, right? You have to pass both the national and the Colorado exams. You also have to pass a background check. You have to buy errors and emissions insurance, which is just a couple $100. You have to select a brokerage to sponsor you. And that's it. Like, all in, I mean, you're probably under $3,000 to get into real estate. I mean, the biggest expense is the classes, maybe the classes in the books or whatever. So
not that much. Ultimately, in the long run, it's not that much.
Right. I mean, if you think about people starting businesses or maybe buying a franchise or something, like under $3,000 to start a business is not that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about after you get licensed? Aren't there more costs though?
Oh, for sure. For sure. So monthly MLS fees, which I think are like around $50 a month. If you want to be called a realtor, if you want to use the word realtor, then you need to pay annual dues to the National Association of Realtors. It's like $600 or $700 a year. Contracting software is $40-ish a month. Then like whatever office equipment that you're using, you might sign up with a brokerage that has some office space or something you can use, but typically, I mean, you're going to need your own computer or laptop. Of course, you need your cell phone. Any sort of office supplies that you might want or need for administrative stuff, the printer, the paper, markers, all of it, right? So you got to set up an office. And then a big expense, I think, is the marketing and the lead gen. Because unless you get really lucky, or maybe it's really smart, and start working with somebody right out of the gate who's handing you leads that you can work and close deals, like that would be amazing, right? But nobody's going to give leads to somebody who's doing it as a side hustle. So you're going to need to spend money on generating leads for yourself and doing marketing and trying to drum up business.
And then if you're only part-time in it, how much lead generation are you really doing?
I know, because you've got all this time that you're spending at your day job.
Right.
So it just doesn't really leave a lot of time left over to do all this stuff, right?
So then what's the biggest misconception that people have?
I think there's two, actually. So the first one is that you're just going to make all this easy money, just like
the easy part, right?
Yeah. So 90%. So we talked about how you get licensed. Once you go through those steps and you get licensed, in the first year of people being licensed, 90% of them quit or kind of never really get started, right? And then I recently heard that in the first 5 years, 80% will have 80% of the ones who stayed will have dropped out in less than 5 years. I also heard a statistic last week that most agents are doing 5 deals a year. Now, As a full-time realtor, it would be impossible to survive on 5 deals, I think. But I think that average of 5 deals a year, that average is being brought down by the numbers of part-time realtors that we have in the industry, in the profession. There's a ton of part-time realtors.
Right. What's the other misconception?
I think that it's a job. Like that you're going to get licensed and then you have this job that you do, a sales job where you sell real estate.
Yeah. Or like 9 to 5.
And that's not, it's not really like that at all. It's not a job. It's a business. You are an entrepreneur. You're not selling real estate. You're doing everything, marketing, finance, strategy, HR, all of it. Like you are running an entire business. You're not just selling real estate.
Probably a little therapy there too, huh?
Oh my gosh, so much. Yeah. That's a realtor joke. Everybody's always like, what are the must-have skills that a realtor needs to have to be successful in the job? And everybody's always like, oh, you have to be a psychologist with your clients.
Could see that.
Listen to all their problems. I've been with clients hearing about their divorce, like, because people have to move when they get divorced, right? And so you end up like showing homes or working with a seller and then just hearing everything about the divorce for the entire time you're working with them.
Yep. I could see that for sure.
But yeah, I think those are the 2 biggest misconceptions people have, that you're going to make fast, easy money and that it's this job that you're just going to have and do and everything's going to be easy peasy. It's so much more than that.
For sure. So then what do buyers and sellers need to know if they're hiring a realtor that's doing it as a side hustle?
Oh, that's a great question. So I actually am of the opinion that this is people's largest financial asset. You are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when you're working with somebody who's part-time, first of all, they just don't have their finger on the pulse of the market the way that someone who's in it full-time does. Just the same way that like I'm not as familiar with like the Fort Collins market as I am with Denver Metro. And then it becomes a question of competence. And this is something when you're a realtor, you're agreeing to the code of ethics and your license too. Like when you get licensed, you are agreeing to not do work that you are not competent in. This whole issue of competence is a big deal. So if I were to do like I don't do property management, I'm not competent in property management, but if I offered to do property management for somebody, I would need to find an experienced property manager to like supervise me, right? And make sure everything's going well.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. If you're not immersed in it on the day-to-day, then how can you really be an expert in it? How can you get to that really knowledgeable, professional, competent, if not expert level?
Right.
And when you're talking about that many hundreds of thousands of dollars, why would you not want to get an expert?
Right. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. It's tons of money. So what do you think? You still interested in doing real estate as a side hustle after all of this?
No.
What's the biggest reason you don't want to do it?
Mostly I know the hustle of it. I've seen you hustle.
The hours, right?
Yeah,
You're just kind of always on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll let you do that. I'll leave you to being the expert on that, and I'll have you in my pocket.
Yeah, so you could just have your 9 to 5 job, and then when you're not at work, you don't have to think about work. Yeah, because I'm thinking about work 24/7.
I got you in my pocket as my realtor, so I don't need to do that. I'm good.
All right, well, thanks for being here today, Tabitha. This was great.
Thanks for having me. Always.
If you like this content and want to support the channel, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go.